It might look like we're in Italy, but we're actually in Sydney to drive this. It's the new Fiat 500e, the first all-electric Fiat 500. It's just arrived in Australia, priced from $52,500 before on-road costs. And in this video, we're going to jump in the driver's seat, poke around the interior, show you a little bit of that, take it for a drive and deliver some sort of verdict. So make sure you stick around. Welcome to the interior of the Fiat 500e, an intriguing place to sit with lots of little Easter eggs and things like that. First things first, this twin-spoke steering wheel is supposedly a nod to the 1957 Fiat 500. The 2007 Fiat 500 had a three-spoke steering wheel. This car has the same sort of ellipse dash design, again a nod to the 1957 Fiat 500. We've got two digital displays. We've got a 7-inch digital instrument display, no heads-up display. Then we have a 10.25-inch horizontal central infotainment touchscreen, which supports wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Extra marks for that. And then we have a wireless mobile phone charger and, mercifully, a row of HVAC hard keys, so you don't have to fiddle around with the touchscreen to change something as simple as the temperature. A couple of other little things. We've got a sunroof here with a shade that opens up. We've got a cup holder in the middle here and another cup holder down here which kind of folds out. But the big question, I guess, is it feels like an economy city car that's kind of been jazzed up a little tiny bit with lots of different features such as the artificial leather. But then we have hard scratchy plastics that come all the way up the door here. There's no soft door toppers in this car. Could you spend $50,000 and be happy with that? I guess that's part of the EV motoring equation. So, first impressions of the Fiat 500e behind the wheel. Even though it is a little bit bigger than the 2007 Fiat 500, it still feels like a compact car, especially with the windscreen comes down nice and low. It still feels very small, which is nice in the city. It's got a nice tight turning circle, feels like a great little city car, and it's fun. You've got that instant torque from the electric motor, and even from 50 kilometers an hour, you put your foot down and you get pushed back in the seat instantly and silently. There's no waiting for any turbos to spool up or revs to build or anything like that. You can drag off unsuspecting dual cab utes at the lights in this car. It is front wheel drive and it will get a little tiny bit of wheel spin when you put your foot down. That only adds to the fun for me. The Fiat 500e has three modes. It has normal, range and Sherpa mode. Normal is exactly what you expect. There's not really any regenerative braking. You have to use the brake pedal to slow the car down. Range mode, you get a lot more regenerative braking. That's where you ease off the accelerator and the car starts to slow down as it scavenges energy for the batteries. And then Sherpa mode is not really recommended, only because it tends to turn the air conditioning off, and on a warm day like today, you don't really want to be driving around in sweltering heat just to get another 7 kilometers of range, unless you really need it. If I had to level some criticisms at the Fiat 500e, they would be that it is a little bit on the firm side. It's not the softest riding car. It does tend to pogo about a little bit, and there is quite a lot of harshness coming through from the tyres into the cabin. So on a coarse chip, bumpy country road, you'll be feeling a lot of the road in a little car like this. Even though the interior is really nice, you do get a little bit of scratchy plastics all the way up the door card here, slightly unbecoming of a $52,000 car. Another big issue is the range. Fiat claims the 500e will do 311 kilometers on the WLTP cycle. Is that enough in this day and age for a $52,000 car? No less. You can certainly get EVs around this price point with a bit more range than that. Without a doubt, in the city, you'd get close to that. You might even get a little bit more in the low-speed urban environment where EVs tend to do their best range-wise. But get this out onto a motorway, not that it's made for motorways necessarily, and the range will quickly drop below 300 kilometers for sure. The handling's actually pretty fun. The weight feels really low in the car and it is nice and compact, so you can pitch it into corners and carry like a fair bit of speed. Bring on the Abarth versions, I say. They're going to be really interesting. It is fun. It feels like a hot hatch. Has the same acceleration as a hot hatch, at least up to 50 kilometers an hour, and the instant torque makes it feel even quicker again. Yeah, it's a really fun little car. It's great around the city. That punchy, quiet electric torque is so usable in the city environment. You can just sort of like punch in at gaps into traffic, like any other EV, to be fair, but doesn't make it any less fun. It's a great EV trait. If I had to deliver a verdict of sorts, I'd say, yeah, I like it. It's really fun. I love the response of the electric motors. It's fun to drive, it's smooth, it's quiet. The electric motor has made it a better car. Downsides, 52 grand is a lot of money before on-road costs, no less, for an EV with just 311 kilometers of range. Also, the back seats, they're not really usable. It's got a pretty small boot, and the ride quality isn't amazing. You'd have to be very wooed by the Italianness of the Fiat 500 to purchase this car over many other EVs on the market around the same price. It would be really interesting if Fiat introduced a trim back model without some of the features and equipment of this car. They cost about 45 grand with the same level of performance and range. That would be interesting to see that, because these cars are supposed to be a little bit utilitarian and egalitarian in Italy. They're just made to be little runabouts. So to position this as a bit of a luxury product kind of seems to miss the point of the Fiat 500 in general. So Fiat, if you can make a 45 grand stripped back version of the 500e work, I reckon there'd be a market for it. So there you have it, the new Fiat 500e, the very first electric Fiat 500. Would you spend $52,500 on an EV with only 311 kilometers of range? And would you have yours in this intriguing rose gold hue? Leave a comment in the section below, and if you haven't already, hit like, and as always, thanks for watching Chasing Cars.